Well, let's stay with our top story now. On the line, we're joined by the University of Free State spokesperson, Lasia Loda, for the latest on the video brawl. Of course, that video circulating on social media at a rugby game at the university last night. Lasia, thank you for your time this morning. Firstly, from the university's perspective, what is your understanding of what happened last night?
Hello.
Hi, Lasia. You can continue. Hi. Yes.
Thank you. The Varsity Cup match between the FNB Shimlas and the NMM Yuma Divas was disrupted last night in the 17th minute when a group of protesters moved onto the field and disrupted the match. It had to be stopped as well.
What was the response to those protesters who disrupted the match?
Well, as I indicated, some of the spectators ran onto the field, and also there was a brawl that happened between the protesters and the crowd. Was
it just the protesters and the crowd, or were some of the people who were actually, some of the players involved in the game, were they also part of this assault that took place?
The players were not involved. They were taken off the field. It is clear at this time that both the protesting group and the spectators included non-students.
What was the response of security management to this brawl that took place?
Well, the university condemns the incident in the strongest terms, as it is also a violent act.
Lasia, I mean, we can't talk about this incident and not address the fact that race has been brought up and was involved. Were the black protesters who made their way onto the field attacked by white people who were part of those watching the game from the pavilion?
Yes, that is what happened. The university is also looking at the footage from the event, and we will leave no stone unturned to identify those who have acted violently, whether they are students or not.
Lasia, did the match continue once the protesters were taken off the field?
The match was stopped for about an hour, and then it continued afterwards.
My understanding is that the University of the Free State's Vice-Chancellor was also in attendance at this game. Given the fact that transformation has been such a big issue for UFS, and we've seen matters of race really make headlines over the past month or so, well, not just over the past month or so, but really come under the spotlight recently. Do you think it was a good call for the game to continue, especially given that the tensions that had arisen at the time had not been fully addressed?
Well, the game was continued only about an hour after it was stopped, and it was continued after the situation was assessed very properly. So that's why.
What do you mean when you say the situation was addressed very properly? Do you mean that the black protesters were removed off the field, and so it was okay for the game to continue?
No, what I'm saying is that the situation was assessed, and then after that, the decision was made to continue with the match.
But our understanding is that there was violence that broke out further on the campus once the protesters had been moved off field. So what do you mean when you say that the situation had been properly assessed?
What I'm saying is specifically at the match, when it was stopped, before it was continued again, it was assessed to make sure that it is okay for the match to continue.
And what about the protests that were taking place on the rest of the campus?
Okay, so in terms of that, clashes between students occurred afterwards on the campus, and members of the public order policing had to disperse some of them. But the situation was stabilized in the early hours of the morning with the help of the public order policing.
All right, so you continued with the game on the field while there were further clashes between students everywhere else on campus, if that's what I understand.
Well, the game continued, and then after the game, the clashes took place.
Lasia, do you understand the concerns that are being raised by students at your university over issues of transformation?
Yes, we do. We do understand that. The university has been dealing with that for quite a while, actually for a long time now. We do understand that. We are also in communication with our SRCs on our Bloemfontein and also our Kwakwa campus.
What is the status of protests on campus this morning? We saw a letter calling for the mass gathering of students collectively.
Okay. In terms of that, the situation on the Bloemfontein campus is relatively quiet. The Bloemfontein campus and our South campus, also in Bloemfontein, are closed for today and tomorrow, and no academic and administrative services are available.
There have been calls for the Vice-Chancellor, Jonathan Jansen, to step down because students feel that he's simply not speeding the ball up when it comes to issues of transformation. What is the university's response to those calls?
The university takes note of these calls, and that's actually only all that I can say for the moment in terms of that.
Was he at last night's game?
He did attend, yes.
Okay, what was his response when this violence broke out?
Well, he was very upset. He's also busy with his management team also discussing the matter.
All right. What further action can we expect from the University of the Free State in terms of talks that need to take place with students? Because clearly the sentiment on the ground is that you're simply not doing enough to address the issues of students where transformation is concerned.
Well, the university, as I said, is in consultation and communication with our student body, and we definitely take this very seriously in terms of what happened last night and also what is transpiring during the course of the day.
All right, Lasia Loda, she's the University of Free State spokesperson. More news when we continue. Stay with us.